about the way you stare into my eyes. I know that I don't make things clear.
Welcome back. It's your girl JuJu Renee, back with another YouTube video. This is my first video in 2 weeks, and I'm back on the camera. I'm back and better, and it is currently March, so you know what that is. Dressed up and make it real for me. March Madness, you know. And it has been crazy. Today is Sunday, March 10th, 2024. And if you haven't been on Twitter and you haven't been getting the tea, then you've been under a rock. It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here for sure. It's pretty kind of crazy. But first things first, we're going to get into the first game of the day. Iowa versus Nebraska. That game started off, I'm like, Nebraska finna give Iowa some fits. Like, Caitlin Clark only scored 4 points in the first half of the game. And they was giving her some trouble. They was throwing some defense at her. They was doing a real good job of defending Caitlin Clark in the first half. But, you know, you got to play 2 halves of the game. So, with that being said, that second half, Cortland scored 30 points in the second half. And in overtime. That was crazy. She literally scored 30 points in the second half, plus overtime. And she was able to get the dub for her team. Win the Big Ten tournament for the 3rd time in her 4 years. That was crazy game. It was interesting, wonderful game. Awesome and cool. So boom, that was the beginning part of the day, early morning game. Iowa got to the dub early in the morning. Then the next game to come on was the ACC championship, which was Notre Dame versus NC State. And Hannah did her thing. When it came down to the stretch of the game, Hannah did her thing for sure. And of course, she had her girls hitting those 3-pointers, doing what they needed to do. They only had really 6 players that was able to play that was healthy, but they still got the job done. Hannah got her 22 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds, and she won the NCAA tournament for the first time of her career because she's a freshman. So as a freshman point guard leading her team, she was able to get the ACC championship and win that. In my opinion, personally, NC State takes too long. Sanaya Rivers takes too long to get going. I feel like she is playing with her potential. That's just my opinion. I feel like Sanaya Rivers should definitely be in the talks of the go-to player at NC State. She should be the Deja Kelly of her team, or the Angel Reese of her team, or now Hannah Aldigo has made a name. When you think Notre Dame now, you think, oh, Hannah Aldigo has been killing. So you think Hannah. I feel like Sanaya Rivers should be that of NC State, but I feel like she is so inconsistent. It's crazy. Like, she's really playing with her potential. That's just my opinion. I feel like she got to do better. She got to step up for her team, especially for the NCAA tournament. And I've been saying this even in my last video. She has to step up because she can be such a great player. She has the body for the game and everything. I don't know, maybe if it'd be better if she was able to go to the 2 and she's just looking strictly to score. But at some points of the game, she turns the ball over a lot. So I don't know if it's best for her to not have the ball in her hands and for her to just strictly just be the 2 looking to score, or her for to just, because I feel like she can score at such a level, like her elevation, how high she jumps and how she's able to elevate over people, hit those mid-range, get to the basket, like get downhill. Sanaya Rivers does a great job of getting downhill. But Notre Dame was able to get the dub. Coach Ivy was able to get the dub. Now she has an NCAA championship as a player, as a coach, and as an assistant coach. So she's did all 3 levels. And she has done some great things, and she's doing great as a coach. Honestly, in my opinion, with as much adversity as Notre Dame has had, and her having like a freshman point guard, you know, it's harder to have a freshman point guard to teach them, for them to be able to do successful things. So shout out to Hannah. She's doing great things for her team. And for sure, in my opinion, I don't know, between Hannah and JuJu, the freshman of the year, I feel like that's for sure the toss-up. Some people have threw Malaysia in there, but honestly, in my opinion, Malaysia, she's getting going now. But they've been consistent all year. So I feel like it should most definitely be between them 2. So yeah, Notre Dame got the dub. They beat NC State. and that tournament was very good too. But it seemed like Notre Dame dominated the whole time in the ACC tournament. NC State, they did some good things too, but like the whole time, Hannah's just will for her team to win showed in every game they played. When it was time to get a bucket, they got a bucket. When it was time to do things that needed to be done, they did the things that needed to be done. So that was a good win. ACC tournament champions, Notre Dame. Shout out to them. Next game that was played was the talk of the talk, the Twitter of the Twitter. People were still on Twitter arguing about this game. South Carolina versus LSU. Now, we gotta get into some things. It's a whole bunch of talk on Twitter about the scuffle and this and that. But, you know, throughout the game, I feel like it was a battle. LSU and South Carolina fought during the whole game. Going at each other, taking it to the chin to each other, taking at each other. It was trash talk, bump, pushing, all that stuff. The grit, toughness, everything throughout the game. It was from the tip of the ball game. It was that intensity of the game was just, yeah, it was there. So basically, South Carolina, Louisville got going. Boom, back and forth. LSU started out hot. I'm gonna give, like, for sure LSU started out hot. Also, before I get going, prayers to Poa about her concussion. She got a concussion in the game before. So just praise for her and pray she is having a healthy and wonderful recovery. We cannot forget about Poa. I talked about Poa a lot on here and how I believe she is a pivotal player to LSU's success, and for them to be able to do great things, she has to play her best. And so she's not able to play right now. Sending prayers to her, and even if she does not return this season, just sending lots of love to her, because that is most definitely a scary, sad situation, being put in a neck brace on a stretcher, going to the hospital, and like, that's scary. Anything that the brain, the body, anything, like taking them concussions is tough. Like, you got to be a tough player to take those concussions. So prayers to her first of all before we go any further. But now, back to the LSU South Carolina game. So it was heated from the beginning. Andrew Reese was talking her trash. She was doing some dirty stuff, not gonna lie. She was pulling hair, elbowing. Cardoso was elbowing, pushing each other too. So let's get at the issue at hand and how. So first, let's acknowledge the first part. Did Fort Wiley strip Flau'jae? Yes, she did. So she grabbed her and fouled her so she wouldn't get a layup. Was that an intentional foul? Yes, she intentionally fouled her because she grabbed her layup. But the unnecessary thing that happened is Bree Hall walked past, said something to Flau'jae. Then here come Ashlyn yelling in her face. So Flau'jae pushed her out the way, like, get out of my face. She came yelling in her face. That was unnecessary. The referee had already called the foul. He called the foul. It was what it was. She grabbed her intentionally because she stripped her. She took the ball from her. So it's like, okay, if you're a basketball player and you hoop, somebody take the ball from you, it's like, especially as a point guard and a guard, it's kind of like, especially if you play at a high level, it's like, it just do something to you. It's like, she got her. So they said something to her. Then she yelled at her. Then Flau'jae pushed her out the way, like, get out my face. Then here come big old Cardoso. But, like, pushed her on the ground. And it's like, bro, that was crazy. You did not have to push her that hard. Now, my perspective on the whole situation is, everybody's getting a rave on Twitter. The whole situation was unnecessary. I feel like the situation could have stopped at Ashlyn yelled in her face. Flau'jae pushed her out the way. It was like that. A little back and forth move. Let it be what it is. Cool. Flau'jae got a tech. Let it be a tech. Angel had got a tech earlier in the game because she elbowed Cardoso in the face intentionally. The game was chippy from beginning to end, but the referees was letting them play. And so I feel like the referees most definitely should have got control of that game before it got any further, because it was a lot going on, but they were just letting them play. It was fouls on both ends. It was like heavy, like handed fouls on both ends. Intentional contact on both ends. It was a lot going on. I feel like the referees should have did a better job of controlling that game so it didn't get to that point of where it was that problem to where it got there. So nevertheless, it happened. Then Cardoza pushed Flau'jae, and I see a lot of people saying Cardoza did what needs to be done. My opinion, none of it should have happened, but now that it's here, I feel like, in my opinion, Cardoza should never push Flau'jae. People saying she was defending her teammate. How you defending your teammate before you defending yourself? Like, you let somebody pull your hair, because it's all on Twitter. Angel Reese done pulled her hair. Angel Reese just elbowed her in the face. Angel Reese done did a whole lot of Angel Reese talking crazy to you. But you go and push the 5'7", 5'8", and you 6'7" guard, and the one that's your height, you don't do nothing to her. She pull your hair, you just let her pull your hair. That's crazy to me. Like, why you gonna push her? Then it was people saying, like, well, she was defending her teammate. I feel like you defend yourself before you defend your teammate. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Ashlyn, like, 6'1", 6'2", Flau'jae 5'8", 5'7", she can handle herself against Flau'jae if it was really that type of situation where it was that serious, that crazy or whatever. Like, she bigger than Flau'jae. So why do you feel like you needed to defend your teammate against a person who your teammate is bigger than? And I'm not gonna lie, Ashlyn is shaped like an NBA player, like an NBA point guard. Like, Ashlyn is shaped like Lonzo Ball, like stocky, big shoulders. She's literally shaped like Lonzo Ball. Like, I'm sure it would, like, if it got to that point, you don't need to come, like, do that, Cardoza. Nevertheless, she apologized for the situation. Flau'jae apologized for the situation. It's a lot of going back and forth on Twitter. Angel Reese has some stuff to say. But in all of the situation, Angel Reese walked to the end of the bench. So I feel like the tweeting is like, put your phone down. You don't need to tweet nothing. It was a whole bunch of players tweeting stuff. Like, I feel like at that point, it just should be like okay, we ain't finna tweet nothing. Everybody just chill. People gonna say what they're gonna say, feel how they feel. At the end of the day, I'm saying how I feel about the situation. I feel like Cardoza did too much. And then the brother, he did do too much. He did too much. My light just turned off. But I'm still finished this video. The brother did do too much. He should never... He did a lot. But in the same breath, I don't think he was thinking. Like, and I'm sure Cardoza wasn't thinking either. But, like, I just feel like the situation was different between him and Cardoza. Because it's like, this girl been beating you up all game. Angel Reese been elbowing you, pulling your hair all game. But you want to push Lil Flau'jae. Like... And the brother, just his instinct, he see his little sister, so he, like, did something out of character. He went to jail. I'm sure he regrets what he did. For sure. He knew he was tripping. For sure, to jump over the thing. He was tripping for sure. But, all in all, the situation was crazy. And it was wild. These are just my thoughts and my opinions of it. And now people are going back and forth on Twitter. Alexis Morris is arguing with people on Twitter. Now... South Carolina, now it's a thing of South Carolina versus LSU, and it's like, that shouldn't even be a thing. Like, it's crazy on Twitter. But all in all, South Carolina won the game. They got the dub. Cardoza cannot play in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and I don't really feel like that would really affect South Carolina, because they had to play without Cardoza when she went to go play in Brazil for her country. Ashlyn had to play the post, and it was pretty fun. I don't really think it's going to affect them. LSU is beat up, though. Like, they need these weeks off to recover. Like, I know in the videos that the press conference, after game press conference, that Kim Mulkey was talking about, they can play another game next week. No, y'all cannot. Y'all cannot play another game next week. Y'all need that rest. Everybody beat up. Angel Reese ankle. Michaela Williams still recovering. Haley and Flau'jae seem the only two people to be healthy. Anissa Murrow got a black eye. Like, it's a lot going on. But all in all, to be very clear, because people were saying that none of the players could be on the bench. Everybody that's on the bench can play. They were just ejected from the game. Besides Cardoza. Cardoza is the only person who cannot play in the first round. because of fighting. And so the situation was bad all in all. Didn't have to be taken to that, but it was taken to that. And at the end of the day, lesson we learned is it's basketball. Like, it gets competitive and heated. But the lesson we learned is that the referees need to take control of the game so it don't even get to that point. So yeah. And also, I'm posting this uncut. Like, I'm gonna post my thumbnail on that and then give like a little intro outro, but this is gonna be uncut. This is me. This is real raw, my opinion. I feel like Cardoza did too much. She didn't have to push her, especially when Angel Reese been beating you up all game, pulling your hair. And I'm like, I'm even watching it like, dang, I wanted LSU to win, but I'm like, girl, why are you pulling people's hair and elbowing them? You doing a lot, and you doing a whole lot. But it's like, why would you push Lil Fly J and the 6'3" girl is elbowing you? Crazy. So then next, we got Stanford versus USC. USC won. They beat Stanford. I don't know. Stanford they just can't seem to beat USC this year. But they got the dub. I was glad to see JuJu win. Of course, she winning. Got her dub as a freshman. And did some great things. USC won. Now they moving on to the tournament. She done did a lot of great things her freshman year. It's really going to be a toss-up between her and Hannah. But USC won, and so those are the winners. We shall find out who wins the Big 12 and different things like that. I'll be back with more videos. I'm not going to leave y'all for long as I did. But thank y'all for watching. I will be back with more videos and more content. Let me know what y'all think about the games below. Let me know what y'all think about Notre Dame. Let me know what y'all think about North Carolina versus LSU. I'm sure it's going to be some people that got some things to say about that. But this is my opinion. This is my page. If you disagree, say you disagree, but be respectful. Period. So, thank y'all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And continue to tune in into all my other videos. And I will be back with more videos. I am out. Peace.